Good morning, everyone. This is Brian from Earth to Heart. So here today, let's just get some harvesting done. Like I said the other day, I got mustard all done, but I think we got blueberries that are ready, and probably some beets we can harvest. Might get some broccoli. Yeah, there's quite a few things ready, so you should join me and kind of walk around and just see what's in the garden and get something harvested. All right. Ooh, I have greens too. That's the other thing. Okay. Now, luckily, the birds didn't get all of these. Now, I ordered these little plastic things. These are a nice, just good way to store them. Your fruits, especially. Also, the nice thing is they are washable. Oh, looks like I'm gonna have to eat that one. Not washable for like your dishwasher, but you can easily wash them, rinse them off. They're recyclable, so we're not, as much as I try and avoid using plastic, and there are still some cases where it has its uses. Though if anyone has any recommendations, I'm willing to happily accept them. But no, this has probably been one of our best years for fruits. Another one I have to taste test. Terrible. You can't have any. They're all mine. I'll save you the disappointment. If you're like me, where you don't really like to spray a whole lot, well, you're just gonna have to get in your garden and be there constantly. And by constantly, I just mean on a daily basis. You don't have to be there every second of the day, but if you're in the garden every day, even if it's just in the morning or in the evening, you will start to notice things. You'll start to notice when pests are active, and then that helps you. Again, like, we're going back to the key parts of observation from a permaculture, but just in general, whether you don't have to believe in permaculture or not, but just general observation really will help you improve your garden, especially if you're just starting out as a gardener. And when you start figuring out what is causing the problem, is it a problem, right? Before you start freaking out, let's say you got damage on the leaves of a plant, it could just be a leafcutter bee, which are great pollinators. They're an overall beneficial insect, so it's okay to have a little bit of leaf damage. Usually they'll be very minor. So that's why, but you only will know that if you're in the garden, observing, seeing what's going on a daily basis. So that's where noticing this, I think if I want to go with what our kind of pest cycles are here, the leaf rollers were really common around May, early May. That's when they really showed up, and you started seeing all the leaf rolling. So I just went around once I knew what they were, and that's one thing, you want to know what they are before you go crazy, because you might be killing a beneficial insect. And rather than kill a beneficial, you want to be helping them out. And I put the netting up because we did have birds that came through, and they ate quite a few, but we were able to save most of our blueberries. But but being out and observing, you can start seeing and diagnosing these problems, and this allows you to minimize the need to use sprays and other toxic techniques. Because you know what, when, let's say, I think it was mid-June is when the cabbage moths, or cabbage butterflies, excuse me, because they're actually a butterfly, not a moth, started flying. And so by knowing that they were active, rather than spraying, I just knew to start looking under the leaves, and like, oh hey, there's eggs from the cabbage moth. This was the same thing as this really early spring in late April when we had leaf miners for our beets and Swiss chard. Again, knowing the life cycle, was able to smush the eggs on the leaves, then remove those leaves. That way you can break the cycle. When you're able to break that cycle, it helps keep that load down. You're never gonna fully get rid of pests. It's pest management. Management is the key word. It's not pest removal. They will come back. And as long as you are willing to accept that, one, that also just helps reduce your stress. Because once you just can accept that, okay, you're never going to be perfect. It's never going to be this wonderful, no pests at all in your garden. It's more about minimizing and cooperating with nature. And if not cooperating, sometimes you compromise. And that's okay. It's okay to compromise with nature. So it's okay to put this netting up and say, hey, I love you, birds. You got plenty of native berries to eat yourself, so how about you leave mine alone? You got a few, that's fine. You can have a few, but you can't have all of them. That's a compromise. The birds aren't happy with it. They would love to eat all of these. They would love to. These, I'm sure, are tastier than most of the native stuff that's around. Definitely sweeter, definitely bigger and plumper. But they got their taste. And now the rest is mine, or ours. I'm not gonna eat all of them. I'm not that selfish. My wife would be very upset if I ate all of the blueberries. As tempting as it is, though, they are delicious. There's still some more here, so we're gonna let them continue ripening. But this is, and going back to just talking about observation and just that sort of day in, day out. Gardening's a slow sport. As long as you remember that. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. You'll get there. You're not gonna be an expert in a single season. You're not gonna be able to identify all your pests and problems because they're gonna ebb and flow. And as you garden, as you add more, you're gonna attract pests. So sure, maybe when we first were here, there were no cabbage moths. There were none. Or cabbage butterflies, old habits. There just weren't any, right? Because there was no, they didn't have a garden here, nothing really. So there was no major brassicas to really attract them. Now, obviously, they're in the environment because everyone and their mother grows some form of brassica, and there's plenty of wild ones. So once they learned and figured out that we had some, of course we started having some. But that wasn't our first year. So if we had just observed year one and left it at that, would certainly have missed out or not properly identified that, oh, we have a cabbage butterflies to manage. And that's just the nature of gardening. Take your time. You don't have to do everything at once. It's okay. I know it's always, you always feel like, especially if you've been waiting like us, we've been on normal suburban lots. So it's like you get out here and you just want to do everything, right? You just want to do everything. You want to do it now. You don't want to wait. But it's okay to wait. It's okay to take time. I think those might need to go a little longer. All right. Let's move you back. What I need to do as well, and this is just something, don't be afraid to prune. Don't be afraid to prune. I need to, next year, make sure to keep these pruned away from the fence a little bit. Just so, because there's some holes, and so some of the smaller birds have still gotten through this here, down over here. And I think we'll get a full pint and a half, maybe. All right. I wonder if I need to go grab a new one. But boom, look at that. Now let's move on. We got plenty of other stuff to grab. Yeah, these guys got tomatoes coming along nicely. Oh, I might harvest some greens today. Could use some more. And actually our lettuce on the back porch, that can definitely, it's probably definitely time for it to go. All right, let's do that. And if you're wondering where I got this from, this little tote, got this from, oh, it was Gardener's Supply. Obviously, you know, I think there are plenty of good ones. That's just where we got a couple others I got at one point to try, and well, might as well keep a matching set. Really, oh, and all right, look at those nice little red beets. Really, probably they're a little close together, but let them do their thing. See, oh, that's one thing. Even though spacing's a thing, there you go, nice little baby one. By thinning them out, you can get some babies. And they're nice, good small size, but still totally valuable. And then that gives more space for the rest to continue growing. And that's a weed. All right, and then the greens, well, they're gonna go to the girls. So let's get you there. And some people like to rip and some like to cut. I do both, to be honest. Or say I've done both. Can't say I found anything that is massively different in my personal experience. Your mileage may vary. You know, I know some people feel quite strongly about either ripping or cutting. I'll give that to the girls in a minute. Keep harvesting. Yeah, I got some beets. All the beans have started popping up. I reseeded again, so that should be good. Let's see. That cauliflower's got some more time. Harvested the other one and replanted. Our broccoli's coming along quite nicely. I think we've got 2 heads that are big enough to harvest. I never really ever get massive grocery head style, but I think that's pretty nice. Who needs a grocery store? Right? All right. And obviously, these are gonna keep doing side shoots for a bit. I've used some other varieties, but I am spacing on them right now. That do that are shoot specific. They're meant to do a lot of shoots. There's one variety we tried we don't like. I believe it's a Chinese sprouting broccoli. Is the variety, and I don't know, it does not produce a whole lot. They're very spindly. It produces only a small number, and then that's done. All right. Actually, yes, there's some peppers you want to harvest. That is right. All right, we got. This is our paprika. Little paprika. No one's in there that's ready. There we are. Look at you. Little guy. Nice little guy. He's ready. This one, I would like to ripe it. I like it when they change color more. But I might harvest it, you know, just to encourage more growth. It's ready. It's just I'm picky, and I'm picky about ripeness. But really nice and firm. So that's really nice and ready. Let's see. Oh yeah, looks like these are ready. Oh yeah, that one's starting to dry out almost. Here we are. What is that? Oh, that one might be too far. Alright. Yeah, tomatoes still got it. They're growing well, but they're not ready yet. Alright. And we're gonna harvest garlic later. There's the peppers here. But Thai chilies are probably harvestable, but again, I'm picky. I like them to be ripe. Into the tunnel, one of my favorite spots in the garden right now. All right, let's do Here. Get that pepper over here. Yeah, so we've got, yeah, cucumber. It's just starting, they're starting to grow here. So I have a mix of cucumbers, melons. As you can kind of see, even though tomatoes and cucumbers aren't really considered, or I don't know, maybe they are, like a big companion planting, they work well as long as you give them nutrition and space. And so when you're companion planting, and I'll probably do a full video, there's a couple ways you can do it. Or I guess you could say there's a couple methods. And one way is to grow things that all have different needs. But another way that I find works well is if they have similar needs. So let's say if they're both nitrogen heavy feeders, well, that makes your planning pretty easy, because you know exactly they're all going to have the same nutrition needs. Here they both want to grow, so as long as you prune, I mean, that's really the only issue here. And I need to come through, it's, you know, it is definitely work, but as long as you're pruning and letting light and air flow in, these guys will grow together just nicely. They're both going to need nitrogen as their big things. They also need similar stuff for preventing blossom end rot, so they have very similar nutritional needs and will grow well together as long as you take care of those needs. Now, the other way you can always do it is work something like over here. We're interplanting. You have things that are all going after different sources. So you've got your greens, which are nitrogen heavy, you know, not super heavy as far as nitrogen eating plants go. You have your beans, which are nitrogen fixers, and then your root vegetables on the other side, which are more for phosphorus and potassium feeders. So they're all going after different sources, though beets do require a little more nitrogen than carrots do, and that's actually why the beans are right next to the beets. So as you can see here, and then I've got turnips, which I've just reseeded in between the spots, as these guys are pretty much done. I've gotten, this will be, I think, the 5th or 6th cutting out of this Mizuna. I really like it, both for flavor and just how productive it really is. It doesn't want to bolt during the summer, which is also just fantastic. It's not quite as peppery as like arugula, but it is. It reminds me of arugula in some ways, though it's really nice and juicy. So yeah, I think that's probably gonna be my last cut. Definitely need to get in here and do a little weeding. I enjoy weeding. I'm weird. Yeah, I'll just pull, get what I can off of that. Those are done. And yeah, then I'll probably come in and plant some more, either radishes or turnips. These scissors would be a little better here, but all right, there's the Mizuna. It's good timing because we're just finishing up all of our salad greens from our previous time. So there's that. All right, as you can see, this lettuce is pretty much bolting, and that's okay. So we'll get it out. All right, yeah, that's probably, take this and throw this to the birds. That's just stuff for them. There's a little arugula there. We'll let that continue doing its thing. And I'll just pick those off later after I wash them. Give them a little wash. And that's sort of the nice thing about using this hod, or this little harvester. Oh, don't need you. I like leaving the roots in just to kind of decompose there and add structure to the soil. You don't, obviously do not have to. Well, there we are. We have plenty of fruits and vegetables. I think that's like a good trip to the grocery store as far as I'm ever concerned. A little taste. Still good. Definitely starting to get better. I'm glad I pulled it. But yeah, that's the benefit of having your own really nice established garden. Don't need to go to the store as much. All right, sorry if it's a little loud, but I wanted to kind of show what the purpose of this is. This here, again, is how I, after washing, then dry our salad greens and some of our other things. It's a great way just to kind of get it out quickly. You don't want to leave it in for long because you will start to dry it out a little too much. But the point is just to kind of wash it off, getting any of the dirt, any bugs off of it, and then let the fan just kind of dry it out. And then it's ready to package, and that also helps. So you know how, if you have ever had greens, I'm sure, get all a little slimy in the bag. So this way helps reduce that, helps them last longer, and gets nice and clean. Yeah, just a simple little way to clean your greens and dry them and get them ready for put them in your fridge. Yeah. All right, hope you enjoy.